There used to be a grand tower alone on the sea. You became the light on the dark side of me. Love remains a drug that's high enough. Yeah. Did you know that when it snows, my eyes become larger? The light that you shine can't be seen. Good evening, and I want to welcome everybody into tonight's show, the D Scott and DD show. Uh,
Hey,
how's everything going to the season, DD?
it's going pretty good. It's Friday. Glad that Friday is here and just hanging out, ready to share some gems with some people, but it's going good.
We're coming live today from the DFW. I'm up in the city this weekend and got a lot of plans this weekend, and got to watch a little Spider Man. We're gonna go and do a little watch a little wrestling and up in the someplace up north of Fort Worth. I don't know the city. Benton, I think it's Benton. But yeah, so everything is good, having a good time, and
Nice, nice.
another hot week, another long week out there in that heat, and uh, but we go jump into this today. We glad to have anybody that show up, and glad that y'all tune in and watch us today and this evening, and hope you stick around.
Yeah.
So so my D Scott rant of the week is hotel rooms with no microwaves. I did not know that the room that I got Tuesday night was gonna not have a microwave in it. And I always take my food with me to warm it up to eat. So I wanted to be spending a lot of money while I'm out there on the road. Well, I
Hmm.
get to my room and there is absolutely no microwave. I was looking all in the closet. I'm like, where is this microwave at? And it's nowhere to be found.
Didn't have one. Mm.
Nothing. So I goes back down to the lobby and I asked the guy. He said, "Well, they only comes in the suite. They don't come in the regular room." I said, "Oh, I guess I've been getting suites because I always had one when I was there." So here I
Yep.
am in the lobby. I don't warm my food up, so I got to try to take this hot plate back up to the second floor.
Mm.
And then the dude go tell me, he said, "Man, if you had just called down here and asked us, we could have brought you one." And I'm like, "Well, why couldn't it just be in the room?" So
Exactly.
yeah, so I and apparently this is becoming a thing that I didn't know, that more hotels are doing away with the microwaves in the room. The next thing is property taxes.
Yeah.
I paid my house off last year, but did I really? Is it really ever going to be mine? Because if I don't pay my taxes, they go take my house.
Yep.
So if I'm renting, do I own it?
Is it really an investment?
Or is I mean, because if I don't pay the tax on it, they'll be like, hey, you got to give us hours, and somebody come in and take it, and all that hard work. So
And that's
property
crazy
tax,
how they could do that. Take it just over taxes.
yeah. But that's the way that I mean this life that we live in, we don't own nothing. There's a cost for everything. You can't even drive your car.
I mean, you
Gotta
got to
pay
pay
that
reservation
insurance.
fee. You got to pay insurance. You got to
Mhm.
pay taxes on the gas.
Gotta pay toll charges.
All this. Which brings up the next thing is the new cars that's supposed to be coming out in 27. So all of the cars that's coming out in 27 and beyond, they said that they're going to have cameras in them. I've been seeing these different videos and stuff about how the cameras are going to work and how they're going to monitor the driver. And if it deemed that you're not capable of driving, it won't even start, or it might give you a countdown while you're going down the road and say, "Hey, you about to, you need to pull over. Your car about to go off because you ain't capable of driving." So
Mm,
I feel like with that, used cars sales is going to go through the roof. I wish I had
yeah.
kept mine because I probably
Hello.
could have got what I paid for it in these upcoming years.
Do you think that's a good idea, bad idea?
To have cameras in the car, I absolutely hate it. If
Yeah.
I want a camera in my car, then I would buy one and put it on the windshield for myself.
Hmm.
If they want to put cameras where it's recording and taking care, it's just like in the trucking industry. Nobody cares about the camera that's looking down the road. That
Hmm.
camera is absolutely perfect to have. It will save you from a lot of uh, accidents, if it's not your fault with that. But the camera that looks at the driver, I do not like that because number one, it only records bad behavior.
Mm,
Okay. So if something was to happen and you go to court, everything that's presented in front of the jury or in front of the court is all of your bad behaviors. So you
yeah.
just got one after another one. And they go say, well, why y'all never did nothing? Look at all these behaviors and y'all never did nothing. It was only a matter of time. And that's
Mm,
not necessarily how it works.
yeah.
But the camera only goes off if you hit your brakes hard. This is in the trucking industry. If you hit your brakes hard, if you turn too quick or any hard bump, you can go across a railroad track, any kind of stuff like that to make the camera go off and it'll record you. And I have been and at my company they give us points. We own a little safety bonus dealing with points, and
Hmm.
so times that I have got points on me, of course, running stop signs, that's 3 points. You have to come to a complete stop. And what I have found out with doing this at work, I have also started driving my personal vehicle the same way, coming up to a stop sign and making a complete stop. I'm like, damn, this is really, coming across in my everyday life.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so running a stop sign was for me, and I have went across railroad tracks that was real rough, and it makes the camera go off. Well, my hand was doing something else, and it said I was distracted for 3 to 5 seconds.
Oh.
So
So
you
that
get
seemed
points.
like an I gotcha type situation right there.
Yeah, well, they give us a bonus for keeping our points low, and I done got it the first and second quarter, so I'm pretty good. Uh, and right now it's a month into the third quarter, and I don't have no points unless I got some that came through today that I don't know about. But
Hmm.
everything's good. But in the vehicle, I don't think it's a good idea because once those cameras go in, the insurance company is going to get involved,
Yep.
and they'll want to start saying, this is how you drive, so we can watch you. This is what your rate gonna be. So it'll be just a lot of big brother,
Always watching.
always watching.
Yeah.
And excuse me, I got a little. What the hell? Oh, I'm sorry.
What
I don't
Lukey
know.
done did?
I don't know if you can. I don't know if y'all can see this. I'm not at home. Can you see that? I'm not at
Yeah.
home. It's a
Chickens.
daggum horse at my house. my camera just my camera just went off at my front door, and it's a
Whose
horse.
horse is it?
It is a daggum horse. A daggum horse at my house. I don't
Man.
know who horse that is. This is not the first time. Actually, one year during Thanksgiving, the sheriff knocked on the one of the deputies knocked on the door, and he said we were asleep, and he said, "Is this your horse out here?" It was a whole big horse out there in the front yard,
What?
and I said, "Man, I ain't got no horses. I mean, I wish I did. Of course, I ain't gonna ride him, but." Uh, but and then one year, this little boy that was up the road, he uh he came beating on the door, and I think it was around Thanksgiving. And he said, "Hey man, can you come please help me get my horse?" Well,
Ooh,
he was up the road, and they had a horse. He had his horse tied with a rope, and he had it around. He had the rope wrapped around his hand, and an 18 wheeler come through and blew the horn, and the horse took off.
oh my
And
goodness.
he had a long rope. He had a long rope on him, and we
Yeah.
chased him down. We was able to chase him down. And when I grabbed him, I was strong enough to make him stop. But
Yeah.
I don't know what it did to his hand because it was swole. His whole hand was just swole,
Oh, I bet you it was. All
and
that tugging.
yeah, he couldn't even bend it. But
Wow.
yeah, I got a whole horse in front of my house. Fine.
Only
Hey,
in the country.
well,
But
hey,
hey, I like that kind
hey,
of living.
if he mess around and get in that backyard, then hey, I
Well,
got me a horse.
hey, look, he gonna stay
No, I ain't gonna say.
only
I think
in the
it's the
country.
I think it's the neighbors. It's look some people that stay right on the other side of my neighbor. So
Mm-hmm.
they have different. They got donkeys and cows, and I think that's their horse because it's not the first time that this can happen. And I seen the man one day that came to get him. But
Wow.
yeah. So that's pretty much. Have you heard about all of this Dr. Fauci stuff?
Yeah, I have, and it's intense right about now. They tell me he ain't even talking, but it's intense because mm,
Now, back during COVID, I didn't take the COVID shot. I didn't
mm-hmm.
take it because I took the flu shot. The first time I took the flu shot, it made me super sick. So I
Yeah.
only done had the flu. I only done had the flu twice. And the first time
Mm-hmm.
I had it was when I took the flu shot.
Yeah.
And
That's
so
normal though. That'll happen.
yes, that's what they say. So it scared me
Mm-hmm.
enough to say I don't want that. So I didn't take the COVID shot. And back during that time, it did cause stress and strife in my relationships. I mean, me and my I didn't really want to talk to my dad during those times because that's every conversation was you need to take the shot. You need to take
Yeah.
the shot. And my mama was the only one told me to say, hey, do what you want to do.
But the way that it was put out there, it
Mm-hmm.
was put out there like, okay, this person died, this person died, this person died because
Mm-hmm.
they didn't take the shot. So when it's given to you like that,
Yes.
then you can't help but think, okay, I need to take the shot.
Mm-hmm.
I
Absolutely.
mean, I,
Now.
I did take it, and I've taken a couple of boosters.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I don't know,
Yeah.
but I did
But,
take it.
but I've always felt like this is just me. This is my personal belief that I've always felt like that whatever in the environment that our bodies would be able to take care of it. That's just that's just the way I mean, yeah, people get sick with the flu and then even during those times the flu absolutely went away, which was kind of surprising to me. It was no more flu, it was all
Right,
COVID.
right.
So I had, and I was working at Cisco at the time, and I remember telling my supervisor because a lot of jobs made it mandatory. Some
Yeah.
jobs made it mandatory.
Oh
And I
yeah.
told I told my supervisor at the time, I said, "Hey, look here. If they gonna make us take the shot?" And he said, "Man, I don't know. I don't know." I said, "Well, 2 weeks before they do it, just put my notice in."
So
I
you
really
have some
believe
strong thoughts about that.
I really believe that if I had took the shot, that I would have had some major issues just by my past dealing with the flu shot.
See,
Hmm.
and I didn't have any issues
Yeah,
either time. Now, the first time I
hmm,
took the flu shot, I did get the flu. But I didn't have any issues. But I am a little concerned about the number of young people who may have taken it and later having heart issues.
Yes.
I am
I
concerned about that.
I think a lot of people that died with heart attacks was dealing with that because it
Oh,
did it had different blood clots and stuff that was going on in people that they was pulling
yeah.
out that had tickets. And
You
it's
don't
just a
know.
lot of there was a lot of strange things happening because I was actually in the house with somebody that caught COVID twice. And I
Really?
never yes, and I never separated and we I never caught it. And
Really?
we
So
were
you were right there
yes.
and never breathing in all of that and
Mhm.
never caught it.
Mhm. And one
Yeah,
time
see, I
I
think
had
I
to
had
go
it twice.
mhm,
Yeah.
and I had to take her to the emergency room one time. Her legs had just I don't know if it had anything to do with that, but that's the only thing that I could think of. And both of her legs was just looked like somebody took a maroon lipstick and just painted her legs. And
What?
we went to the emergency room and the doctor came in and they was asking her all these questions and just stuff. And then they said, "Did you take this COVID shot?" And when she said yes, the lady started writing. She didn't write nothing else, but she started writing when she said that.
Oh,
So they took
interesting.
her, they took her and they did a ultrasound on her legs and her lower body to make sure she didn't have no blood clots. And
Mhm.
they gave her some steroid. I think the steroid pills is what cleared it up. But the doctor came in the room and he told me, he looked me in my face and said, "What she has is very contagious, and you're gonna catch it."
Oh,
And
wow.
he gave me some pills. He said, "When you start having symptoms, take these pills, and
Mhm.
it'll knock it out." I still have those pills at the house.
'Cause
I
you didn't
never
take
had
them.
I never had to take them. I never did get sick. And the crazy part about me is that my white blood cells have always ran on the low side. Whenever I do my blood test every year, my white
Mhm.
blood cells are low. So I should be and they say with that, you're supposed to be subject to infections and stuff and
Yeah.
cold and all that. But and I guess if it's real high, then that means you got an infection that you're fighting something. But
Mhm.
Dr. Fauci, he's not talking. He's not saying nothing. Uh, so
Yeah.
I think next time, if something like this ever happens, it's just like a hurricane. You got me one time. Uh, I thought it was gonna be this one time, and it wasn't. And I think it's something ever do with it. If something like that ever happens again, and we people really gonna need to take the shot, a lot of people are not gonna take it, and then a lot of people because
Mhm.
me, I just that's a whole nother show when it comes to me and my thoughts on conspiracies and all that.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
the government and my thoughts on all that, I don't.
Yeah.
It's
We
hard for
we
me
don't
to
trust a lot that
yeah
happens. So,
yeah. It's hard for me to trust um, that the whole deal of the government oversight.
mhm.
So that's my little rant for today. That's for the evening. Uh, and we're gonna get into our discussion tonight. Is we're going to be talking about crimes, discussing the
Yes.
why behind crimes. So
Yes.
I think you had asked the question earlier. What was one of our most memorable crimes for me? And
Yes.
it would definitely have to be the OJ
Okay.
trial. Yes, it would
Okay.
definitely have to be the OJ trial. I mean,
Yeah.
we used to come home from school. My mama would turn the TV on, and that was the TV for the evening.
Hey.
We watched it, and
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
Mine, I
whole
would say, was the Atlanta child murders. And I do remember at one point in Monroe, I remember exactly where I was, and somebody told my mama that the Atlanta child murderer was they found heard he was in Monroe. So I was like, "Oh, let me go start packing up clothes. I need to get up out of here." Now, where was I gonna go at that age? I don't really know, but I was like, "Oh, I got to get up out of here. I can't stay here." And so, um, it was just. Have you ever heard of the Atlanta child murderer?
no.
Okay,
Uh-uh.
so it was a guy in well, obviously Atlanta, and he was charged with killing a lot of little black kids, mostly
Mm-hmm.
black boys, but a lot of little black kids, and it took a while for them to find him. There's even been a discussion as to if he really did it, or was he just kind of an easy target.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you don't
And,
know.
and I think a lot of times too, when people do these things, uh, they don't really think about the other how many people it's gonna affect. I know a guy that's probably for to do life in prison from from his actions, and he had several chances
Yeah.
to live, to get his life back together, several chances. But now he got hit with another felony, and he's fit to go to life for prison. But look how
Mm-hmm.
many people that affected. It's going to affect his mother is in her 80s, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kids, grandkids, you know,
Definitely. Yeah.
and not just he's not the only one that's going to be serving time. It's
Mm-hmm.
everybody that close to him is going to have to serve that time, and
Well,
people really
that's what the comedian Ali Sadiq said, that he said when you serving a prison time, he said it's not just you, your family's
hmm
serving at the same time
hmm
because they got to
yeah,
make changes, and
yeah, and
yeah.
then to go for life. Uh, I mean, you'll never get to put your hands around him, never get to hug him, or none of that no more.
Mhm.
But so, what do you have for us? Uh, what do you have for us this evening?
You talking to me?
Yes.
Sorry. The text came up and the
Mhm.
phone call came in. But anyway, so I would like to focus on the emotions, the why behind crimes. As I look at a lot of things that happen on TV and podcasts and everything, I often ask myself what happened in their mind that made them think this was the thing to do.
Mhm.
How do we get to a point that we can make that change? Now, I think for myself personally, I'm an overthinker. I'm gonna just stop and think, okay, now if I decide to do this could happen, and this could happen.
Mhm.
So that's gonna stop me from doing a lot of stuff because I'm thinking about the things that could happen, and but I don't guess it's there for a lot of people. They don't really think about it, or they keep in mind that I'm not gonna get caught.
Mhm.
But,
Now,
I think you could.
I love me listening to some Dateline. That's what I listen to when I'm doing them early morning routes and stuff, and I don't have
Mhm.
nobody to talk to on the phone.
Yep.
I have Dateline playing, and
Mhm.
it only takes a less than a second to make a bad decision that's going to
You're
affect the
right.
rest of your life.
You're right. You're
Uh,
right.
Now, when I was 21, you think about the mindset. When I was 21, I had some thoughts to do something, and it would have changed my whole life.
Oh, yeah.
And I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking
Mhm.
about the problem that I thought I had,
Right,
and
right.
that may be, but it didn't pan out the way that in my mind I seen it happening. So it didn't do that, and everything actually wind up to be really peaceful at the end, and you know none
Well,
of it.
and I wanna know too, how do you take into account trauma that a person has gone through that leads them up to said crimes? I mean, like, for example, if you have a kid who has just been abused and beat, and they never get any help, any therapy, and they're just angry. They're angry at everybody because they feel like everybody failed them, and then they become somebody who inflicts hurt on others. I mean, is that something that's even considered in their criminal case? And how do we keep that from happening? Because a lot you still have a lot of people who don't believe in therapy. They're like, "Ah, that's
Mhm.
just something they talking about. They don't need to do that." But, you know, for whatever the traumatic situation is, they need some healing from that. I've always said, if you have a person who has an abusive father, and
Mhm.
then that kid grows up and becomes that same abusive father, I just wonder, because I'm like, well, you see what it does.
Mhm.
So what could have stopped that person? What could have changed that hurt in their lives? Therapy
Yeah.
is one way, but
And then some, a lot of times too, you be up under that abusive father, and you see the pain and hurt that it caused the family, and you want to do everything you can to not be that person.
right,
And
right.
and you'll
Exactly.
spend your whole life trying not to be
Trying to
him.
not be that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
I see so many young people get caught up in the criminal system, and I just the thought process, why did this happen? And I get it. You had an argument, somebody made you mad. I get all of that. But when you're talking about something that changes the trajectory of your life is over at 16, at 17.
Mhm.
I mean, come on. You gotta, and I do know that people are sometimes put in situations, but I can't help but hurt for that person who has had trauma, never gotten any help, and they're so angry, and whoever does whatever to them, they they um they just lash out. They lash out at people, and you even see some people, they're so hardcore. It's like nothing gets through to them, and I don't know. I don't know. What could be done uh to do that? And I think it kind of goes back to the parenting. If you are always being told, you stupid, you this, you that, you ain't, you just like your old ugly daddy. And if the daddy wasn't a good person, then you start doing what that person, I mean, you've been told that all your life.
So as a teacher for 25 years, and I'm pretty sure you've seen a lot of brokenness coming in and out of the classrooms. So
Yes.
what help do the school system offer for emotional abuse kids, kids that has problems, that's but
Well,
the
if they know about it, they can definitely get counseling. They can have therapists to come in and see. Now that's now, but now, of
Mhm.
course, when I was a kid, it was that you don't go around telling what happened in my house. So,
Mm.
I don't even know what would have been available back then, but they do have situations. It's actually, we are legally bound that if you see a hint of something, you've got to do
Mhm.
something about it. So, if you see a kid come in withdrawn, they sleeping all the time, and you don't do anything about it, I mean, you got to ask some questions, have the counselor come talk to them, have somebody, you've got to do something. But I have seen a lot. I have seen a lot. I have had to make CPS calls before, and sometimes I cried all the while doing it. But
Mhm.
yeah, you see a lot. And the hardest part is when a kid feels like they can trust you and they tell you something and you have to report it. Because then
Mhm.
that kid feels like you've gone against them, but you are just wanting to make sure that they're safe. And but yeah, I've seen a lot, and it's really sad to see what little kids have to go through. There's early in my career, there was a little boy that I have not heard from him, but he had a not so good home life, and if some changes did not get made, he was definitely going to be in some not so good things in life.
Mhm.
And he just wanted love. but he wasn't getting love. He was getting that, and getting told he was this, and it was really sad. It was really sad. He was actually one of the kids that I took school shopping, and he was close to my heart. I still wonder about him, but he was living in a tough situation, and so
Mm,
I could see the making of a criminal later in life with
yeah.
what he was dealing with.
Mhm.
And I think that's unfair to him because he needs a chance at a full life. Nobody has the right to take that from you, but if you don't get the help you need,
Mhm.
yeah, so
No,
it's difficult.
discussing the why behind the crime. Like I say, I listen to a lot of Dateline, and
Mhm.
usually on Dateline episodes, it's always somebody trying to get somebody out of the way.
Mhm.
A
Mhm.
lot of most of them. It's not no confrontation. It's not a lot of confrontation.
Yeah.
A lot of it is well thought out plan,
Mhm.
and to eliminate somebody for money, for kids, for
Yep.
whatever.
Or just cuz you want something else.
Yeah, you want something there.
Yeah.
This last one that I listened to was dealing with I guess he was a acupuncture doctor, but they called him a masseuse and everything. And I think it
Mhm.
was in Hawaii,
Okay.
and the doctor was a player. He had all the women, and what got him caught up was he was doing acupuncture. They say it helps with fertility.
Okay.
So he so this lady went and she went to the doctor, and she told him that she was trying to get pregnant. So he said, "Well, come on in. I'll talk to you and your husband." So he counseled the couple, and she
Mm.
wind up getting pregnant. You know, after the procedures and stuff, it did help her get pregnant. Well,
Mhm.
they started messing around. She started messing around with the doc, and it took years. I think it was like 25 years, I think, before they caught him. They caught the killer. I think
Wow.
so, but they narrowed it down. If it's the same case I'm thinking about, because I listen to so many, but they narrowed it down after so long to be able to tell. Uh, nobody else would have wanted to do it. So they used a lot of evidence, and then I think they found guess what they did? They found the cap. It was a cap.
Mm.
He had a wig on, and the cap
Mhm.
on his head fell off, and he didn't know it. And a homeless man picked it up,
Wow.
and they was able to track it down and get the DNA off of it. They couldn't say that it was all his because it had been
Mhm.
touched so many times, but it
Right.
didn't. It didn't take his. All the evidence was still showing that he was somewhere involved in that.
Wow.
But
Did you
yeah,
see
most
you
of,
got a question in the chat?
well, at the moment, uh, no, I did not consider the consequences uh,
Mhm.
because a lot of arguments was going on, and I never forget. I got a phone call, and me and this guy was arguing, and then my dad got on the phone and started arguing with him, and I'm like, "No, this right here, this guy is going too far." So at 21, no, I did not think of the consequences. I just
Mhm.
saw I just seen a problem with me, and we fixed. That's how we think about things. We
Yeah.
fix it. I just seen a problem that needed fixing, and
Mhm.
I was to go fix it. So, but it was
Yeah.
that split second.
Yep.
It was right there on me. It was right there on
Mhm.
me. The decision
Mhm.
had already been made, and that split
Wow.
second would have changed my life forever.
Yep. Mm.
But I did. Things worked out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Things
It's
worked out
good
differently.
that it did work
And I
out, but
just,
go ahead.
I just say for me, my whole life has been uh like a hedge of protection has been around me. I have been in some crazy situations, and I felt like, you know what? I probably shouldn't be alive.
Mm.
Uh, I'll give you an example. One time I was going to this small community college not too far from where I grew up at. And on my way back to school one Sunday, my roommate car was on the side of the road. Okay. So I'm probably doing 75, 80 flying, and I flew by his car, and it was some people standing out there beside it. So in my mind, I'm thinking, oh, my homeboy done broke down. Let me turn around and go back and see if I can help.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, he had all the speakers and stuff in his car. He had an I think it was Oldsmobile, but he had, you know, he had all the speakers, the deck, and all that stuff. So when I
Mhm.
turned around and went back and pulled up behind him, behind the car, I didn't even know what was going on. Those guys took off running,
Oh.
and they jumped in their car and took off. And they was gone before I realized that they was actually stealing his stuff.
Wow.
And I don't know if they went up and turned around and went back the other way, or if they went on and I don't know what they went to, because I was and see, this was just out in the country. This was between on my way to
Mhm.
Carthage, Texas. And I always say, man, if I had been in the city, they probably would have shot me and took my car too and threw me in the ditch. Uh,
Yeah, that's
and then,
wild.
yeah,
Yeah, because you don't know what they were up to.
yeah, but they got all his stuff out of there, uh,
Mm.
and we never figured out who did it. But you know,
You know, the only situation I've had even close to that, and this wasn't really a criminal situation, but it was when I first moved to Dallas. It was in '88, and I was working at Wendy's, and I got off one night, and I was a very new driver, very new, and the police pulled me over. Later realized that I had pulled out from Wendy's and I didn't turn my lights on. So now remember, this is 1988, a big difference from now. So I get out the car. So he pulled me over on a dark street. Now, should I have stopped on that dark street? Probably not. But again, this is '88. I'm 18 years old, 19 years old. You know. So in my mind, in my country, Monroe, Louisiana mind, I was like, you know what? Because I didn't seen cop shows and stuff. I said, I
mm-hmm,
need to get out of the car and go walk to his car so he know I'm not doing nothing wrong. So I got out my car, walked to his car, and put my face in his window. I said,
mm,
yes, sir. In 2026, that
mm,
uh,
yeah,
but I did that. I didn't know no better, and he was just like, back, just back up, back up. Now, why he didn't see me walking towards him, I don't know, but it was '88, you know.
mm-hmm,
But cause seems like in these times he would have seen me get out of my car and he would have been more alert to that, like, hey, get back in your car.
mm-hmm.
But yeah, I done got out, walked to his car, and put my face in the window. I said, oh yeah, I could have been gone.
Have you ever seen a crime happen?
I've seen a person stealing.
Mm-hmm,
I've seen some car wrecks and some fights, but
mm-hmm.
nothing. Nobody died in either of those.
Yeah. Well,
Um,
I have two stories where the crime could have went down, and I probably should have called the police, but uh, anyway, when I was working for Cisco, I was delivering to this gas station in Jacksonville, Texas. And as I was in front of the store getting my stuff out of the back of the trailer, this this little truck pulls up, and this woman gets out of it, and her and this man, they is just going back and forth arguing like crazy.
mm,
Well, he said, "You know what? I'm tired of this." And he reached in the back seat. He pulled. It was just a little single cab truck. He laid his seat down and he took his gun out,
ooh,
and he had his gun in his hand, and he looked at her, and then he looked at me. Me and him looked at each other in the eyes, and when we looked at each other, it's like he changed his whole mindset changed, and he put his gun back in his car, and that lady got in the car with somebody else.
Oh,
and
wow.
they drove off. Now, what happened after that? I don't know. I don't know. Now, the second time I seen some crazy stuff, I was delivering to a hotel up here in Tyler, Texas. I was delivering to a hotel down there on South Broadway. And when I got through delivering, I pulled around the building. Well, it was a couple back there that was into it. I couldn't. They had me blocked in because their car was in the driveway. And
Mm-hmm.
apparently, from what I could take, the guy, he came with his sister. His sister brought him up there, and either his wife or girlfriend, but I guess he caught her with another woman. And
Oh,
same scenario. He didn't pull no gun, but he was mad. But me and him looked at each other. We looked at each other. He looked at me in my eyes, and I, of course, at that time I could record it because I had a camera in my truck, so I could just hit a
mm-hmm.
button and I could record if something was going down. And I did do that. But he looked at me and he looked back at her, and I don't know how that door, the glass in that door didn't break. It's like when he slammed that door so hard, the whole car looked like it was going through some wind. The whole car was rocking. Oh.
Wow.
So after that, after they seen that I needed to leave, he went ahead and got back in his car with his sister, and they went to the red light. He was out at the red light talking trash and all this. He got out the vehicle again, calling her all kind of names. And but what would have happened in those times
A
if
lot of
nobody had
emotion going on there.
a
A
lot of
lot of
emotion.
emotion.
Hmm.
You got to get yourself get to be in control of yourself so that you know how to handle those situations because
Hmm.
it's levels of that probably started off as a little disagreement, then it worked its way up to a little loud talking, then it worked its way up to name calling, and you know uh
Hmm.
how do you diffuse that before it gets to that point, just like we're talking about the why behind crimes, because a lot of people don't plan on going out there doing XYZ. Some do, but
Hmm.
some don't. They don't plan on going out there doing whatever. But once your emotions get going and somebody say this and you say that and they gonna disrespect you and then bam, situation
Hmm.
happen.
And I'm so happy that matured. Uh, but I always knew back then that I was gonna be one that took care of my business as far as when
Yeah.
it comes to being a good steward of life. And I'm
Mhm.
so happy that that's the only time in my life that really a decision could have just really turned for me like that.
Yeah.
But I'm glad now that I'm mature enough to think things through, and all that stuff ain't even worth it because I it ain't nothing behind them bars for me. It ain't nobody
Hello.
worth me
Hello.
being locked up behind them bars. I love my freedom too much
Yes, indeed.
to be
I think
locked up.
becoming a mother had a lot to do with me, which not to say that I was like out of control, like I go fight somebody or whatever before, but becoming a mother made me really think about my actions and what I'm doing and how it would affect her. And so that was
Hmm.
a big part of, because I wasn't just living for me, she's affected by everything I do. And so
Hmm.
yeah, but you think about the young people who haven't gotten that they say that frontal lobe where you make your decisions. They say that that's not developed completely until maybe 25.
Well,
Think about how many young people have
I
gone to prison before then.
I can agree with that, but it's also some 65 and 55 people walking around and it ain't developed neither.
Yeah, you
you
right
know,
about that.
you know
You
what I'm
right
saying?
about that.
So,
A few people come to mind in their 60s and acting a fool. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. So we talking about the different emotions behind it, and who's should be. So if there's a crime of passion,
Mhm.
uh, who should who should be the blame? Where should the blame fall on? Because if you there's a case there was a case in Tyler They tried this guy was the bar kept serving him drinks.
Mm-hmm.
And I think they deemed that the bar was responsible for a little bit of what happened after that. And
Mm-hmm.
then I know there's a case where this kid went to school and he did some things, and they actually charged the parents
Mm-hmm.
of him being able to go to school and do that.
Yeah.
So a crime of passion, should the one that caused it be at fault a little bit, or should it just be the one who thought out what they was gonna do and did it?
It's really hard to say. I mean, it's really hard to say because that's where you got to get into the psychological part of it. Like I was saying, um, a kid who had an alcoholic father who beat his mother, and that's all he's seen, and then he grow up to become that person. Do you blame his mother and father for that, or is he responsible? Now, the law says you're responsible for your own actions, but
Mm-hmm.
psychologically, how did that affect him seeing that? Because at some point he never learned how to solve his problems. So what
Mm-hmm.
he did, the way his daddy solved problems, he did that. So if nobody gets to him, he don't get any therapy, any of that. Who would be at fault for him growing up and killing his wife?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously the law not gonna go back to his parents and say, well, because y'all did this, they gonna slap that charge on him and move on. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean that plays a part in it. It plays a part in it. I think a recent case that happened, matter of fact, I think it was in Fort Worth where this guy did something, and part of his defense was they came in and they talked about how he wasn't treated right as a kid. Now, he still got the charges that he got. Unfortunately, he unalived somebody and did some things to them, but they did put that in with the defense. They even had his family members coming in saying, he was treated poorly as a kid, and I definitely think it's unfair, but at the end of the day, you are responsible for your own actions. But if
Mm-hmm.
you're not equipped to do that, if nobody has taught you how to problem solve, how to work through your emotions, how to just because you mad, you can't go and start knocking out windows, even though that's what you feel like doing. But if nobody's taught you how to do that, you know,
Now, I tell people, uh, family members, hey, if it's a reason that you went to jail, I come get you. But now, if you down there robbing a dollar store, I ain't even supposed to come get you.
you
You down
doing something stupid.
there, if you down there robbing the
Yeah.
bank, no, I can't bail you out. But if
Mm.
it's something I deem that's, and I feel like it's some crimes that, hey, they shouldn't have did it. If you come through the window and messing with one of my children, and I catch you and I put you where you need to go,
Hey,
I I mean,
all
whatever,
bets off.
it's so I stuff like that. I don't I hate those kind of crimes when
Yeah.
it involves kids.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
because I just don't understand the mindset of a person that would take advantage of a little child, uh
Mhm.
when there's so many grown women out here.
Yeah.
But I guess it's got more to do with the mind, with the control,
Yeah.
um, with the. I just don't understand it, and
But then what happened in that person's life that got them to that? I
Mhm.
mean,
Where did
is
it
a
come?
person born evil?
Well, we are born with some, just like a little baby. A little baby know how to hide things before they can
Mhm.
even talk.
Yeah.
They know how
Yeah.
to. They know how to, when something's not right or when they trying to get over
Mhm.
on you, and they not
Yep.
even able to talk, but they can understand that.
Did you
Hey,
write on that wall? No. Like, who taught you how to lie when I done seen you?
yeah, where it come from?
Yeah, I saw a
Yeah.
little boy. He said the dog did it. The dog did. He was serious. He said, I didn't write on the wall. He blaming the dog on it. And he was little bitty. How did you learn to make that up? Yeah.
Why you biting your sister? Where you get that from? You
I,
just started talking.
exactly. So, you know,
You already biting. How you know how to do this? So yeah. So we are
man,
definitely born with that in us.
with a lot, yeah. Probably
With a
coming
lot.
through our DNA, maybe.
Yeah, maybe so. Yeah.
Yes, it's interesting. It's an interesting take on it.
Mm,
You know, back when I was getting my doctorate degree, that was one of that was my main um focus was on positive parenting in African American cultures um with people who have been incarcerated, because I wanted to know the difference from you didn't have a good parenting and now you incarcerated. And I
mhm,
get, I already know that everybody who grow up in a bad situation don't end up going to jail, but
mhm,
there are a lot that do. And so, what is it within you that says, I'm not gonna do this, even though life is hard for me, I'm gonna do this? I mean, what makes that connection for you to do that, you know?
mhm,
I mean, me personally, I didn't grow up in the best home. And you know, I think I came out pretty good. You know,
mhm.
you know, never been to jail, never, I don't think I've ever committed any crimes. At one time when I was 10, I did steal from TG&Y. I stole the candy. But look, if you don't want a 10-year-old stealing that candy, don't have it open. I did do that. I did. I stole that candy and I felt bad about it. Ooh, I felt bad. I was like, "Oh," but yeah. I
Mhm,
mean, you know, but then there are some people who have rough lives and they just that pipeline to prison and they just start making bad decisions, keep making
mhm.
bad decisions, and boom. So are they acting on emotions? Or is there something just inside of them that makes them not do right?
And can a person change?
Something to think about, can they?
Can they, if that's in you,
Mhm.
can you ever can you change? Is it a way to get those
I don't know. I
criminal
mean, that's
thoughts?
just like if somebody is adopted. Let's say you get this really good family, they can't have kids, but they adopt this baby and they shower the baby with love and they care about him and all of the things that they need to grow up, and that baby still come out and do the stuff that their biological parents did. You
Mhm,
know, I've actually taught kids like that, you know, very good home. I mean, very good home. But the situation that they came from is something in that DNA. And no matter how much love that kid had, and he was the only one. The mom stayed at home, showered him with everything, but he still chose to make bad decisions.
mhm.
So yeah, he
So
actually went to prison.
so let's
Um,
touch go ahead.
no, I was done.
So let's touch on this for a little moment since we're talking about crimes. The one that's in the media right now, the Nolan, what's his name?
Wells.
Nolan Wells.
Uh-huh.
So, what do you think about that? Me personally, uh, I think this is just my thinking that they was out there goofing around, doing crazy stuff, and he wind up dead. Uh, that's a lot of I've been part of those kind of crazy enough. Not on the water now. I don't. I never
Yeah.
played around on water because I couldn't swim, and
You
even
ain't
in
getting
even
out
in
there.
swimming, even in swimming pools, I
Mhm.
didn't. If it was 6 foot, if I couldn't touch the bottom with my feet, I didn't go
Ain't
in.
ain't getting in it.
I ain't getting it. So I think they was just out there goofing off, playing around because that's what kids do. They might have been doing
Yeah,
some drinking, probably was doing a lot of drinking, and somebody
yeah.
wind up dead.
And
You know.
that's very, very messed up because no matter how this whole thing plays out, there's trauma that obviously his parents they're they're going to struggle to move past their trauma from losing their son, but then those who were with him, there's going to
Mhm.
be trauma there. And if the person who if there was not an accident and somebody really did something, you
Mhm.
know um they've got to deal with it. But people talk about karma and how when somebody has done wrong, they know they've done wrong. I personally think that there are people who do wrong and they tell themselves, I ain't did nothing. I
Mhm.
didn't steal. I didn't rob those old ladies. Them old ladies gave me that money. I mean, I think that people that was an example. I don't go around robbing people. But
Mhm.
I think that there are some people who tell themselves, I didn't do that. And they make
Mhm.
themselves believe I didn't do that. And so, I don't know. And then when I look at it, I think about what could have happened to prevent it, you know. But
So another question that comes to mind when it talks about the mindset of people, uh, what is the where does religion play a role in changing a person that had this criminal mindset and then went to prison, got out, and then getting a second chance, which a lot of people go right back once they get out of there. So,
yeah.
what do you think? What is the religious institution's role in rehabbing people? What could they do that's could be different, better per se?
Well, this is only coming from me. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
churches have long said, if you pray about something,
Mm-hmm.
and you ask God to take it from you, that it will be. But there are repeat offenders who have done that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was actually listening to a live earlier today, where they were talking about some things like that. And well, you go to church and they were giving scriptures for it and everything. But I know people who
Mm-hmm.
have done things. um I don't know. I mean, so what we're taught in the word is if you ask for forgiveness, and you are true in your heart with wanting to
Mm-hmm.
be forgiven, that
So
God
God,
will forgive you.
so God forgive that person, but the one that was the victim has to go on with it and deal with it for the rest of their life. Now,
That's that's a big point right there.
this is just my take on it. This is D. Scott take on the religious institution and what I experienced over the last few years, 15, 16 years. What I saw is uh now we do need grace and mercy.
Mhm.
And we do need that. Everybody need grace and mercy. And uh Jesus died for our sins. So we do need that. But what I've seen is a lot of the grace and mercy preaching, it puts people on a hamster wheel. And Sunday after Sunday, you have different problems being preached to you.
Mhm.
And it makes the most important thing is come to church and pay your tithes. That become the most important thing. So we're not what I seen was not changing people. It was just putting a band-aid on it to keep you in this cycle. And every
Mhm.
Sunday, so Monday through Saturday, you going out doing whatever you want to. But
Whatever.
as long as you show up to church, ask for forgiveness, pay your tithes, you good. Well, you keep doing the same thing. And you know what? You know what that causes? That causes a lot of men in the church. They'll use God to get a woman in church, and they'll be in a relationship, and before long, they'll use God to say, "Hey, I'm not a good man for you. I'm not ready for you." So
Yeah.
you just done took somebody else down this long road of your
Yep.
mess
Uh-huh.
to only this person that got hopes and dreams of building something with you, and then at the end, I'm not good enough. God said, "Wait, I'm not good." But at first, God told me this was a good relationship. We need to be together.
Right,
But then
right.
at the very end, when I'm ready to get with somebody else or do my own thing, oh God
Mhm.
is telling me that I need to wait. I need to go do something different now. And what it
And
does,
then,
hey, you're just in that cycle.
yeah.
So
And if you circle back, if that woman commits a crime against him, because he done
mm-hmm,
sold her a dream. He done
mm-hmm,
sold her, this is God's work. God put me in your life, you in mine. If she does something to him based off of her emotions, because she done changed
mm-hmm,
her whole life for him,
mm-hmm.
is she justified?
If it's multiple,
I,
you
I
know,
I doubt very seriously that it would be justified. I mean,
morally, you
yeah,
know,
yeah, morally, but
legally, no, they can't. You know, you go get in trouble. But
in
it's a
the
crime.
eyes of the law, you could say,
Mhm.
but he did this, he took that, and judge gonna say,
And
well,
this is the thing
let him.
about this is the thing about uh Draper Jenkins. Okay, it's not D. Scott. This is I'm talking about Draper. One thing for me is I have never liked it to play with anybody' emotions
Yeah,
because when my uh separation happened, I went out on about 5 dates, and one thing that each person said was that we get into conversation, and I think as a man I'm in a very good place in life when it comes to finances and the future of being able to retire. So I know I'm in a good place right now, unless the economy just collapse and they take everything, which possibly could happen. But for me, I don't like playing with a lot of I never liked it playing with people with women emotions because you see so much build up. There's so much there
mhm,
having that conversation, and they all tell me the same that I make them feel safe.
mhm,
So if you got men out here that ain't no good, and then you got men out here that you deem to be good, and we all acting the same, well, what does that say about the good ones? If they acting just like the ones that's no good, and by no good I mean just being jumping into a relationship to get what they want and then moving on to the next one whenever you we're getting too serious. This ain't what I wanted,
mhm.
So I never
Or
been no
either
I
I
never
done got what I wanted from it,
mm-hmm,
so I'm done.
mm-hmm. And we use and what I've seen in that situation with men, we'll use the church, we'll use God then to say, hey, God said this is not I need to pull back. And I see
Mhm.
that cycle. So you pull back. You with this one woman, you pull back. You stay in church, and then all of a sudden, one Sunday, you have this big revolution. Oh, I'm this man of God now, and I want me a woman. And you get right
Uh-huh.
back in that cycle. You get another
Yep.
woman. You'll get you another woman in church, and then you'll kick it with her 5 6 months. Hey, we shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you know what I'm saying? This is just the
Mhm.
things that I experienced because I was
Yeah.
part of that culture. I'm not uh, nowhere innocent in that because in that culture, I was caught up in some things myself
Mhm.
that I don't even have the desire or don't even have temptations of when I got away from that, which is kind of crazy because I would think that being there, being away from there would put me out here in the world to be out here doing wild things. But the wild
Mhm.
things that I was tempted to do was only when I was in the church on a regular basis. And to me, I'm
Mm.
like, that's kind of rich. But because and what I take from that is because Sunday after Sunday, a new problem was given. And
That's deep. But April just put, yeah, that's
mhm,
deep. Yeah.
yeah. So
There was actually a shooting at the GM plant. Now on TikTok, they said that it was two men arguing over something with a woman, but I don't know.
well, I mean, that works both ways. You know, a person puts when you pour all into a person, and then one or the other go a different direction. I mean, you got to be able to control it. You got to be able to move on.
Yeah.
You know, and hopefully you don't you don't wind up. You know, you look at Steve McNair. Uh,
Man.
you look at that. You look at these guys that do this, and it's only a matter of time because they all I always was told, you know, a man that chase women and a dog that chase cars, they just ain't gonna last long.
Ooh. I ain't never heard that, but that's deep. They ain't gonna last long.
Ain't gonna last long. You, you go run out there and it's gonna be a car coming from the other direction. And
Hey.
when you turn around, it's gonna get you. So you know, it's that's what they always told me. And
Mm,
I mean, it's just a matter of time. People get tired. People will get tired of playing with getting their emotions played with.
yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to, once it's over, you have to be able to be mature enough to move on.
Yeah.
Because you know, I mean, 21 years of marriage, there was nothing they wanted me to, you know, be like, man, you ain't leaving me. No, if you want to go, you can go.
Yeah.
I ain't move on.
If you wanna go, baby, go ahead and walk out the door.
If it's best for both of us to separate, well, I'm good. I'm okay with it
Mhm.
because I know who I am. You know, I know
Yeah.
I got some. At the time, if everything had went different, I know where I could have went. I already had that lined up. Uh, I had everything situated in case it went a different direction. You know, it didn't. So, but nowhere in my mind, I was thinking, no, you ain't fit to leave me. You know, I was like, no, you can go. I mean, I was, I was sad, but you know, at the same time, it was only sad before a presence of in the house, but it
Right,
wasn't
right.
sad for the other thing that came along. But yeah, you want to walk, you know, hey, because I know me. But, you know, anyway, talking about these crimes and the mental side of it, I just think that a split second, a
Your
split
life
second
can change.
will change the course of your life.
Mhm.
It changes.
You gotta think about that. But,
Now,
you have some people who feel like they don't have anything to live for anyway. So they like,
mm-hmm,
"I could care less."
mm-hmm. Now, I could get on predestination, but that'll be a whole different topic because I have did some research in that in that subject too because is our life predetermined uh, or can we change it? You know,
Deep question.
God knew us before we was in our mother's womb. He knows how many strands of hair on our head, and He knows the day that
Mm,
we're gonna die.
well,
So is my life is everything for me to be sitting right here right now? Everything in the past from the last second happened and to get me right here where I'm at. There's no other decision that I would have made
mm,
that would have had me not right here because I
I
did
don't know. I got a couple
because
things
I
I think I would have done a little differently.
well, but you didn't. That's what I'm saying though. You didn't do it,
Yeah.
but you didn't do it. That's what I'm saying about me. Yet,
Yeah.
if I had did some things like I talk about my situation, if I had done that, then I would have it would have changed the course of my life. But I didn't do it. It didn't happen.
Mhm.
Because if it had happened, I wouldn't be here. But I can't say that for sure.
I
Because
would
you
have
can't.
definitely joined the military. I'm still
Well,
trying to join right now,
I would have
but
got in there.
you know, I got a few ailments, but I still feel like I can go and cook or something.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yeah.
me and my brother talks about that all the time. But being coming from the country and talking about the military, uh, it is from the elder people in the community that I was in. It was the fact that if you go to the military, you go get killed,
Mm,
and not every job. If I had went, I wouldn't even been on the out there with. I wouldn't even been fighting out there in the war. But the
mhm.
mindset that I had, man, I go to the military, I'm gonna get killed.
Yeah, I'm gonna get
That's what
killed.
they, yeah, that's what they put in our head. From where
But the thing about
I'm,
it, you could get killed just on the regular street, you know.
hey, I spent 2 weeks in Memphis. You
Hey, hey,
know
hey.
what I'm saying? I survived the war zone, and, and
Woo.
was able to come home because the
Mm,
first I was up there for 1 week. I went up there to work when I was working at Cisco. I went to Memphis, and then we went back for vacation because I wanted to see the Civil Rights Museum. Which, if you
mhm.
had never seen, that is a sight to see. The
Yep,
Moraine
yep.
Hotel, and they made a
Mhm.
museum out of it. When you go down there and there's nobody there in the evening, there is a
Mhm.
heaviness feeling.
Yeah.
They still got the cars parked. You can see where Martin Luther King was shot at, and they still have everything there. And it's a heaviness feeling that's crazy. But
Do they have something showing where Jesse was?
uh, well, well, you get to walk through. You actually get to walk through the room. That's the last
Mhm.
thing you do. You get to walk through the room and you get to stand on the balcony and you can look across and see where he was shot from. Uh,
Yeah.
so
Mm.
it's a very eerie feeling. But the week that I spent in Memphis when I was up there working, and that was a lot of different craziness things. I had a guy steal something off my truck. I had a guy try to break in my truck. Uh,
Mm.
but every evening when I got in the hotel, the news somebody had got killed. And a lot of the killings was stray bullets that were just hitting innocent people. But it was happening so much that it was like when they show it on the news, only like 4 or 5 people would show up and do a little vigil, and they be like, this is just everyday life up here. And it
Yeah,
was
and
it was so crazy.
it shouldn't be that
And I
way.
it shouldn't. And I had a man tell me, I stayed up there for a week, and they wanted me to stay for 2 weeks to work, but like I say, I stayed a week to work, and I went back for a week on vacation because I wanted to explore the city. Beale Street is absolutely amazing. I love Beale Street. I
Mhm.
actually enjoyed it better than Bourbon Street because Beale Street you have nothing but blues, and you have live musicians. It is
Mm.
awesome.
Okay.
These men are playing these blues and everything. But anyway, I had a guy tell me when I was in Memphis. He said, "Hey man, you ain't from around here, is you?" I said, "No, man, I'm from Texas." He said, "Man, let me tell you something." He said, "Man, you need to get out of here. The first chance you get out, the first chance you get to get out of Memphis, you need to leave." He said, "These dudes up here will kill you just because you doing better than them. Just because they see you out here working, they'll
Mm.
come up to you and shoot you and kill you." He said, "Man, you need to leave as soon as possible." That was a Wednesday. Friday, I was on my way home.
Deuces.
And they asked me to stay another week, but I got to go.
Yeah.
I've been warned.
Yeah. And that's
I got to go.
sad. That's a sad place for a people that
Mhm,
you devalue life so much that just because somebody looks like they doing better than you will take them out. But the reality is, one, you don't know if they do. They can look any kind of way, and
mhm,
then two, how is your life so little that you willing to just take somebody else out, possibly go to prison? You may go, you may not, but
mhm.
and then how you know that person ain't gonna shoot back? You know, I mean, We
Yeah.
need a change in our communities. And I think it starts with parenting. I think it starts with,
Hmm.
you know, teaching our
Starts at
kids better.
it starts at home, but a lot of parents want to send their kids to school to be parented, to be taught.
This I know.
They just babysitting at the house, putting them in front of the game and the TV, and sending them to school to be raised.
Yep. Oh yeah, I done seen plenty. Or this what is this saying that a lot of people say in their family? If you lose a fight, I'ma whoop you.
Yeah. Hmm. Got to fight.
Why are we teaching our kid? But see, again, that goes back to if that kid has been brought up to act like an animal,
Hmm.
who is at fault when they become an adult and they act like an animal?
Hmm.
You got to know your kid. I mean, everybody don't have to get beat to do right. I mean, like I was a person that you a threatening, a raising of the voice, and I'm scared.
I think
But
I turned out pretty good. I didn't get no whoopings growing up.
you ain't getting up. Did Chad get any?
I don't remember.
So
Mm.
they just didn't believe in spankings.
Well, no, they wasn't. They wasn't going to
Wow.
be. Mm, mm.
Wow. Okay.
Maybe a little pop here on the hand as a little baby, but
Yeah.
I don't remember. I don't remember that. But
Right.
from the
Right.
times that I can remember, no, I never got a whooping from my parents.
Interesting. Very
Mm. Now, they
interesting.
might have. My mama used to snatch me around when I wouldn't let her when she was trying to comb my hair in the morning before school, and I was moving too much. She might snatch me up, and hold me down, because I used to have a
Yeah.
lot. I used to have a lot of her in elementary. I had me one of the big old froze. But anyway, we had made the decision.
No. I can't believe that. I'm sorry. You cannot tell me. April, you probably got one or two. You cannot make me think that you had to get a lot of whoopings. Mm-mm.
Well,
Mm.
no. Uh, well, we had. Do you want to? Okay. Come on. Tell us about these whoopings. uh,
Oh, shoot.
but we had made the decision that we wasn't going to go no 3 hours today, and that we was only going to do an hour show. So we trying to, and we didn't have no guests this time. So
Right,
when we
right,
don't have
right.
a guest, we definitely can cut it down a lot. Uh, so I
Mhm.
want to remind everybody to like and subscribe and continue to check us out. Drop in if you have
Yeah.
any questions or anything. Drop in and Ray Benford said, "Spread a rod, you know the rest." Spread a rod, spoil the child. But
Everybody don't need the rod though. I
well,
mean,
you gonna have to, of course. They say, I guess if you don't get whooping when you're little, then life will whoop you. So I guess somewhere along the way you'll get your
yeah.
beating. Yeah.
I mean,
So
I do agree that sometimes you do, but I'm telling you, I've seen parents every situation they really bully their kids. Every situation. I'm gonna beat your. What are they
mhm.
learning from that? You
so
know the
I, I
rest.
I definitely done had some whoopings in life. Uh, so
Still getting them.
but we want to thank everyone for joining us this evening.
Yes.
And like I say, everybody remind you to like and subscribe and continue to come in and check us out. This is only our fourth show.
Yes.
This is our fourth show, and we make doing it every week. And I hope people like it and
Yep.
and look forward to it.
Thank
So,
you for letting us come into your living room or cell phone or wherever you're looking. We greatly appreciate that.
and we finna get out of here. And I hope and wish that everyone has a very great weekend. a great Friday night, a great weekend. It's hot. We done worked hard all week. And if it's nothing but relaxing in the cool AC, that's enough for me.
Yes.
So we thank y'all, and we are going to get out of here, and we'll see y'all next week. We'll drop the time and everything sometime, maybe Monday or Tuesday. And
Yeah.
but y'all have a great weekend.
All right. Bye. Be the
Bye
reason
bye.
someone smiles today.
Be the reason someone smiles. We'll see y'all next week. Bye bye.
Bye.
Yeah.